$180 million Iranian oil tanker seized in international waters. American Special Forces board in 12 minutes flat. Wednesday, 2:34 a.m., Gulf of Oman, 340 nautical miles from nearest land. The MT Sanchi Glory, Iranian-flagged supertanker, 274 meters long, carrying 1.8 million barrels of crude oil destined for Syria. Sanctions-busting cargo worth $157 million. The tanker had been shadowed by American intelligence assets for 9 days. Satellite tracking, submarine surveillance, P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft monitoring every course change. Washington had decided this shipment wouldn't reach Damascus. The oil was funding Iranian proxy forces across the Middle East, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthis in Yemen, militias in Iraq. Every barrel represented weapons, ammunition, terrorist operations. The tanker had to be stopped, and the United States Navy was about to execute the most audacious maritime interdiction operation in modern history. USS Bataan amphibious assault ship positioned 47 miles southeast had been preparing for this mission for 72 hours. Her well deck housed 2 Mark IV special operations craft, fast attack boats designed for exactly this scenario. Her flight deck carried 4 MH-60S Seahawk helicopters configured for assault operations. Aboard the ship, 40 Navy SEALs from DevGru had rehearsed the boarding operation 16 times on a mock-up tanker. They knew every detail: the layout of the Sanchi Glory, the location of the bridge, the crew quarters, the engine room. Iranian tanker crews weren't combatants, but they could resist, could destroy evidence, could scuttle the ship. The SEALs needed to take control before the crew realized what was happening. Speed, surprise, overwhelming force, classic special operations doctrine applied to maritime interdiction. The operation received final authorization at 2:12 a.m., direct from CENTCOM. Code word, Cutlass. The Bataan's captain gave the execute order at 2:18 a.m. 2 Mark V boats launched immediately, each boat carrying 20 SEALs. Twin diesel engines pushed them to 50 knots, racing across black water toward the Sanchi Glory's last known position. Above them, 4 Seahawk helicopters lifted off, flying nap of the earth, rotor blades barely 30 feet above the waves, all aircraft running dark, no navigation lights, no transponders, just infrared beacons visible only through night vision goggles. The helicopters carried additional SEALs, snipers, communication specialists, enough firepower to overwhelm any resistance. The tanker's crew of 32 Iranians had no idea what was coming. MT Sanchi Glory was making 14 knots on a northwesterly heading when American forces made visual contact at 2:31 a.m. The tanker's bridge was lit, watch officer visible through windows, radar antenna rotating, AIS transponder broadcasting the ship's position to any receiver within range. The Iranians weren't hiding. They assumed international waters meant safety, assumed American forces wouldn't risk an incident. They were catastrophically wrong. The Mark IV boats split up. One approached from starboard, one from port. The Seahawks came in from astern, all converging simultaneously. The tanker's watch officer spotted the first Mark IV at 2:33 a.m., grabbed his radio, started transmitting in Farsi, never finished the transmission. What's your tactical approach here? Type A for rapid helicopter assault to the bridge. Type C for simultaneous multi-point boarding with boats and helicopters. Drop your answer below. American snipers opened fire at 2:33 a.m., suppressed shots from Seahawks hovering 400 meters out. 300 Winchester Magnum rounds. Precision accuracy. They didn't target personnel. They targeted communications equipment. The tanker's satellite antenna exploded. Radio mast shattered. AIS transponder destroyed. In 8 seconds, the Sanchi Glory went dark. No communications out. No position broadcasting. Electronically isolated. The watch officer dove for cover. Hit the general alarm. Klaxons blared throughout the ship. Crew members stumbled from their bunks confused and terrified. But it was already too late. Hit that subscribe button right now if you want more real special operations breakdowns like this. This is the tactical analysis you won't find anywhere else. SEALs fast roped onto the Sanchi Glory's deck at 2:34 a.m. 4 simultaneous insertion points: forward deck, aft deck, port side amidships. starboard side amidships. 40 operators hitting the deck in 18 seconds. Each four-man fire team had specific objectives. Alpha team secured the bridge. Bravo team secured engineering. Charlie team secured crew quarters. Delta team secured cargo control. The SEALs moved with rehearsed precision. Night vision goggles turned darkness into green-lit daylight. Suppressed HK-416 rifles ready. Flash bang grenades on tactical vests. Flex cuffs for detaining crew. Every SEAL knew exactly where to go, exactly what to do. Alpha team reached the bridge at 2:35 a.m., stacked outside the door. Breaching charge placed. 3-second countdown. The charge detonated. Door blown inward. Flash bang grenade through the opening. Explosion. Blinding light. Deafening noise. SEALs flowed through the breach before the flash bang smoke cleared. 4 Iranian officers on the bridge. All disoriented. All compliant. On the deck. Hands behind heads. Flex cuffed in 20 seconds. The captain started shouting in Farsi, demanding identification, claiming international law violations. A SEAL translator calmly informed him the tanker was being seized under United States Sanctions Enforcement Authority. The captain went silent, realized his ship was lost. Bravo team secured the engine room at 2:37 a.m. 6 Iranian engineers working the night shift. No resistance. They were technical personnel, not fighters. SEALs secured them quickly, took control of propulsion systems. The massive diesel engines continued running, but now under American control. One SEAL team leader with engineering expertise examined the control panels, confirmed the engines were operating normally. No sabotage attempts detected. The Iranians hadn't had time. Bravo team positioned security at all access points. The engine room was the ship's heart. Losing it meant losing the vessel. It was now firmly in American hands. Charlie team encountered the only resistance at 2:38 a.m. Crew quarters held 22 off-duty Iranian sailors. Young men, confused, scared. One pulled a knife, brandished it threateningly. SEAL point man didn't hesitate. Taser deployed. 50,000 volts. The sailor dropped, convulsing. The knife clattered across the deck. Every other Iranian immediately surrendered. Hands up. No resistance. They were merchant sailors, not Revolutionary Guard fighters. Wanted no part of combat with American Special Forces. Charlie team secured them all, moved them to a central location under guard. Total time from breach to secured, 4 minutes. Delta team reached cargo control at 2:36 a.m. This was critical. The cargo control room managed all systems related to the oil cargo. Pumps, valves, tank monitoring. If Iranian crew scuttled the ship, they'd do it from here. Open sea valves, flood compartments. The SEALs found the room empty. No crew present. One SEAL with specialized training examined the systems. All valves showed normal status. No flooding detected. No sabotage in progress. He locked out the local controls. Routed everything to the bridge. Only Americans could now operate cargo systems. The Sanchi Glory's 1.8 million barrels of oil were secure. The entire boarding operation took 12 minutes from first rope deployment to full control. By 2:46 a.m., the Sanchi Glory belonged to the United States Navy. 32 Iranian crew members detained. All communications severed. All critical systems under American control. No casualties on either side. No shots fired except suppressed sniper rounds into equipment. The operation was textbook perfect, but securing the tanker was just phase 1. Now came the hard part, getting her to a friendly port. Don't miss what happens next in this operation. Subscribe and enable notifications to catch every development in this incredible maritime seizure. American prize crew came aboard at 3:15 a.m. 12 U.S. Navy sailors with merchant marine qualifications, led by Lieutenant Commander James Park, former commercial tanker captain before joining the Navy. He'd volunteered for this mission specifically, knew supertankers inside and out. His team took over navigation, engineering, communications. The Iranians were confined to crew quarters under SEAL guard. Park examined the ship's logs, confirmed the cargo, Syrian destination verified, sanctions violation clear. He radioed USS Bataan, tanker secured, ready to proceed to designated anchorage. The Sanchi Glory changed course at 3:42 a.m. New heading, south-southeast. Destination, Diego Garcia, British Indian Ocean Territory, 2,400 nautical miles away. American military base. Secure anchorage. The tanker would be held there pending legal proceedings. The Iranian crew would be repatriated eventually. But the oil was gone, seized. $157 million in sanctions-busting revenue denied to Tehran. The tanker itself worth another $180 million. Iran's ability to fund proxy forces just took a massive hit, all accomplished without firing a single shot at a person. Iranian response came at 6:47 a.m., 4 hours after the seizure. Tehran issued emergency statement, called the boarding an act of piracy, demanded immediate return of the vessel, threatened retaliation. The Iranian Navy dispatched 3 frigates toward last known position of the Sanchi Glory, but she was already 180 miles away, making 16 knots toward Diego Garcia, escorted now by USS Bataan and 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. Iranian frigates couldn't catch her, couldn't contest 3 American warships. Tehran's threats were empty. The tanker was gone. International reaction varied wildly. Russia condemned the seizure as illegal. China called it unacceptable interference with freedom of navigation. European allies quietly supported the operation, but made no public statements. Middle Eastern nations watched carefully. Saudi Arabia praised American enforcement of sanctions. UAE remained silent, but increased cooperation with U.S. forces. Israel celebrated publicly. The regional power dynamics shifted. Iran's ability to move sanctioned oil just became infinitely more difficult. Every tanker captain would think twice. Every insurance company would reassess risk. The economic pressure on Tehran increased dramatically. The legal framework was complex but clear. United Nations Security Council resolutions authorized sanctions on Iranian oil exports. United States domestic law empowered seizure of vessels violating those sanctions. International maritime law allowed interdiction of ships engaged in sanctions violations. Iran claimed the seizure occurred in international waters beyond U.S. jurisdiction. American lawyers argued sanctions violations gave jurisdiction regardless of location. The legal debate would continue for months in various courts, but possession remained 9/10 of the law. America had the tanker, Iran didn't. That practical reality trumped legal theory. What should international law say about seizing ships in international waters? Was this operation legal or piracy? Comment your legal analysis below. The Sanchi Glory arrived at Diego Garcia on the 8th day after seizure, anchored in the lagoon under American military control. The Iranian crew was processed, questioned by intelligence officers, medical examinations, psychological evaluations. They were treated humanely, fed well, given comfortable quarters. International Red Cross inspected conditions, found no violations. The crew would be repatriated through third-party mediation, probably within 60 days. None faced criminal charges. They were civilian mariners following orders, not terrorists or combatants. The cargo presented different challenges. 1.8 million barrels of Iranian crude oil. Where does it go? Legally seized but politically sensitive. Selling it required careful navigation of international markets. Eventually, arrangements were made through intermediaries. The oil sold to a consortium of Asian refineries. $157 million deposited in U.S. Treasury accounts. Earmarked for humanitarian assistance. The money wouldn't fund Iranian proxies anymore. Would fund refugee aid instead. Schools in Jordan, hospitals in Lebanon, food distribution in Yemen. Iran's oil money redirected to help people suffering from conflicts Iranian proxies had worsened. The tanker itself remained at Diego Garcia. Asset forfeiture proceedings initiated in U.S. federal court. Iran filed counterclaims. The legal battle would take years. Meanwhile, the Sanchi Glory sat anchored, maintained by minimal crew, waiting for courts to decide her fate. Eventually, she'd probably be auctioned, sold to commercial operators. The $180 million in vessel value also redirected away from Iranian state coffers. The total economic impact exceeded $330 million, not counting the strategic message sent. Iranian maritime operations changed immediately after the seizure. Tankers carrying sanctioned oil now traveled in groups. Iranian warship escorts, more circuitous routes avoiding areas of heavy American naval presence. Transponders turned off earlier. False manifests. Shell companies obscuring ownership. But every additional security measure increased costs, reduced efficiency, made the oil more expensive to move. Sanctions enforcement worked because it imposed costs. The Sanchi Glory seizure demonstrated those costs included losing entire shiploads. Every Iranian tanker captain now sailed with that knowledge. This kind of detailed operational breakdown requires extensive research and insider knowledge. Support this channel with a like if you found this analysis valuable. American Special Operations commanders studied the boarding extensively. 12-minute seizure of a 274-meter tanker with 0 casualties became the gold standard. Training scenarios replicated the operation. SEAL teams worldwide practiced the tactics. The combination of helicopter insertion and boat-based approaches, the simultaneous multi-point boarding, the immediate communications disruption, the rapid control of critical systems. Every element was analyzed, documented, incorporated into doctrine. Future maritime interdiction operations would build on lessons from the Sanchi Glory. Technology proved crucial to success. Night vision systems allowed operations in complete darkness. Satellite tracking provided precise location data. Suppressed weapons eliminated communications before alarm could spread. Encrypted radios coordinated 4 teams flawlessly. The infrared beacons on helicopters prevented mid-air collisions in blackout conditions. None of this was science fiction. All of it was current-generation military hardware. But the integration was extraordinary. SEALs had trained with this equipment for thousands of hours. When the moment came, every system worked perfectly. Intelligence preparation made the operation possible. 9 days of surveillance, detailed ship blueprints obtained from commercial databases, crew roster analysis, pattern of life observation. The SEALs knew more about the Sanchi Glory before boarding than her own crew did. They knew watch schedules, knew which crew members were smokers who'd be on deck, knew the captain's habits. That intelligence turned a dangerous operation into a calculated risk. Still dangerous, still required courage, but not a blind leap into unknown. Iranian security services investigated how Americans obtained such detailed information. Suspected infiltration, suspected compromised crew members, suspected satellite surveillance beyond their capability to counter. The truth was simpler. Open-source intelligence combined with targeted technical collection. Ship registries are public. Crew certifications are filed with international authorities. Satellite imagery is commercially available. The Iranians never realized how much information they were leaking until Americans used it against them. If you've made it this far, you're part of our dedicated military analysis community. Like this video, subscribe, and share with anyone interested in real special operations. The seizure had long-term strategic effects beyond the immediate economic impact. Iranian hardliners argued it proved America would never respect international law. Moderates countered that violating sanctions invited such responses. Internal political debates intensified. Supreme Leader faced criticism for policies that led to the loss. Revolutionary Guard commanders demanded more aggressive protection of commercial shipping, but Iran lacked naval power to contest American operations. Every proposed response carried risks of further escalation. Tehran was boxed in, chose strategic restraint over tactical retaliation. Regional allies took note of American capabilities. UAE requested briefings on maritime interdiction techniques. Bahrain offered additional port facilities for U.S. Navy operations. Oman quietly expanded intelligence sharing. The demonstration of American power reassured partners. If Washington could seize a tanker in international waters, it could defend allies against Iranian threats. Regional security architecture strengthened. Iranian isolation increased. Commercial shipping companies revised their risk assessments. Carrying Iranian oil became exponentially more dangerous. Insurance rates skyrocketed. Premiums quadrupled for vessels even suspected of sanctions violations. Major shipping firms refused Iranian contracts entirely. Smaller operators willing to take the risk charged premium rates. Iran's ability to export oil didn't disappear, but became vastly more expensive and complicated. Economic pressure multiplied. The Sanchi Glory operation demonstrated that economic warfare extends beyond financial sanctions, includes physical interdiction, includes seizing assets, includes denying revenue streams. Modern conflict increasingly focuses on economic pressure rather than military conquest. The tanker seizure was combat without combat, achieved strategic objectives without firing shots at people, imposed cost without civilian casualties. This is warfare adapted to 21st century realities. What happens to the Sanchi Glory now? Will Iran attempt similar shipments? How should other nations respond to sanctions enforcement? Share your strategic assessment in the comments. Your engagement drives what we cover next. Every comment, every like, every share. Subscribe now, enable all notifications, because maritime security operations continue daily. Special forces execute missions the public never hears about. This channel brings you inside those operations. Real tactics, real capabilities, real consequences. You need to understand how modern conflict actually works. Not Hollywood versions, not propaganda. Real analysis from people who study this professionally. Wednesday, 2:34 a.m. The moment 12 minutes changed Iranian oil smuggling forever. 40 Navy SEALs boarded a moving tanker in darkness, seized control without casualties, denied $330 million to Iranian proxy forces. Demonstrated that American Special Operations Forces can interdict sanctioned shipping anywhere on Earth. The message echoed across every Iranian port, every sanctions-busting scheme, every illicit cargo manifest. Your ships aren't safe. Your cargo can be seized. Your operations can be stopped. And you won't see us coming until we're already aboard. The Sanchi Glory sits at Diego Garcia today, rusting slowly in tropical humidity, waiting for courts to decide her fate. But her real legacy isn't legal, it's operational. She proved maritime interdiction works, proved special operations can execute precise seizures, proved American reach extends across international waters. Every Iranian official who authorized sanctions violations now knows the risk. Every tanker captain who accepts those contracts understands the danger. And every American SEAL team trains on similar operations, ready to execute, ready to board, ready to seize the next ship that tries to fund terrorism with stolen oil. The Sanchi Glory was first. She won't be last.